Hi, this is Elliot Eisenberg of Graphs and Laughs, catching you up to date on the latest Hillsborough housing sales data. And the party continues. By every single possible measure you can look at, your housing market is on fire. Prices are up 10 to 15% depending on single or multifamily. Sales are pleasantly up by 8, 9, 10% again, depending on how you look at it. Pending sales are up, and what's most amazing is that this tremendous performance is occurring in spite of the fact that there's no inventory out there. Sales activity, if you didn't know there was no inventory, you'd have no idea your inventory starved. Inventory keeps shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. It's now at 1.2 months for single family and 1.5 months for multifamily. Inventory's down almost 50% year over year for single family and about 30% for multi. In spite of that, sales activity is good. You're turning over your inventory faster and faster. Hopefully it can continue, but it's a tremendous thing. Enjoy the party. In terms of what's going to happen in 2021, let's do a quick recap for 2020. 2020 ended up being a great year for housing. There was pre-COVID pent-up demand, there was the spring selling season that went away, and there was demand that was created because of COVID. Well, we know that COVID demand is going to dissipate as injections occur and we get herd immunity. We know that the spring selling season, the 2020 spring selling season, that problem has been ameliorated as well. So we're going to be left with fundamentals. So demand's going to be a little bit less than it otherwise would have been. And I think supply goes up as people become more comfortable allowing strangers in their home once COVID kind of goes away. So 2021 is going to be an excellent year for housing, probably with house price appreciation rates that aren't quite as high as they were in 2020, but still good. And volume may not be quite as good because there'll be a little bit less demand, but still all in all very good. This is because Congress did stimulative stuff back in early 2020. The central bank lowered rates to next to nothing. And the stock market performed really well. And as a going away president in 2020, Congress just passed another COVID-19 fiscal relief bill, if you will, for the American people, and that's going to help us in 2021. Now, the first quarter of 2021 is not going to be so great because there's lockdowns and COVID's worse and it's cold and restaurants aren't opening and there's not much tourism activity going on. But as the year goes on and we get more and more people get injected and the economy picks up and people get hired and so on, the economy will improve. And over the course of 2021, by the end, we'll have 4% growth, well above trend. Unemployment will fall from 6.7%, where it is now roughly, to about 5%. That's very good. I don't see any inflation on the horizon out there. I really don't. And what's really good for the economy is that we know that the central bank and Jerome Powell, the head of that, and the head of the Treasury, President-elect Biden's pick, Janet Yellen, will get along swimmingly well. They'll have a Vulcan mind meld, and they'll do really as much as they can to help improve the economy. I also don't see inflation being much of a concern. That will make it easy for the Fed to keep interest rates low. They may not, mortgage rates may not be as low as they were this past year, right? But they'll still be at the very low end of where they've been historically. Fannie and Freddie are not going to be privatized, keeping interest rates lower. They'll remain in receivership. So what can I think of as a fly in the ointment? What's the bad news? Potentially it's forbearance ending, but look, this is not the market it was 12 or 13 years ago. Almost everybody who owns a house has home equity and good home equity, and there's no inventory out there. This is completely the opposite of the way it was 12 years ago. As a result, I don't see the end of the forbearance program and even a rise up in foreclosures really making much of a difference at all in the housing market. That's it for now. See you next month.